Hello, in this video we are going to see simulation of expansionary fiscal policy when price level is constant. Similar to the case of monetary policy that we have seen before, in the short run there are two effects. The first effect when price level is constant, and in this case there will be a shift of the IS curve. We are going to see soon why. From here to here, and then the equilibrium will pass from this point to this point right here. This is the first effect. And then there will be a second effect when price level increases, and in this case very similar to monetary policy, there will be a shift of the LM curve. So this blue LM curve will shift from here to this pink LM curve here, and then the equilibrium will pass from this point to this point. This is the second effect. But as we are dealing with this case, P constant, which is the assumption used in chapter 5 of the literature that we are using, then in this video we are going to see the first effect. We are going to see this shift. Okay, so let's get started. So as we said recently, if we increase government expenditure, we're going to increase a lot, so we can see clearly the effect. We'll go from 50 to 110, and then we can see two effects. First, a shift of the IS curve, and second, a shift of the LM curve. Now in this video we're going to see only this first shift. So we start from scratch, and now we are going to go step by step, increasing government expenditure from 50 to 110. So the first thing that we can see here is that when in the original G0, when it was 50, then we had an intercept of 25 where in the vertical axis, so it's going to be about here, and then if we want to get the intercept in the horizontal axis, then we have to do interest rate 0. If we do that, we get y equal to 500, so we know that the IS start in 500. Now if we increase government expenditure, this term is going to increase. We are going to do it, and then here we have 110. So this intercept, if you pause and you do the math, you will see that it is 31. So instead of being here as before, it's going to be higher, the intercept in the vertical axis. So it will be a shift toward the right, because intercept in the vertical axis is higher. And now if you want to analyze the intercept in the horizontal axis, then what you have to do is interest rate equals 0 to be here in the horizontal axis, and then if you isolate y, you solve for y, then you can pause and you can do the math. You will see that income is 620. So the intercept in the horizontal axis is going to be 620, so here we will have 620. Okay, well, and now the new intersection between the IS and the LM curve is going to be here in the point 8, 460, here 8, 460, and we explained in previous video how you get this intersection. Now you transfer this information to the money market, but now there will be a difference with respect to the monetary policy. In the case of the monetary policy, two things shift: the L curve shift and also the real money supply shift. Why? Because we changed M. Here we are not changing M, and we are assuming that P is constant. It means that this real money supply is not going to change. So we'll have exactly the same real money supply curve, but what is going to change is just L. And then, as the new income in equilibrium is now, here we can see it here, 460, then we transfer this information here, and we find out that L take the value 460 when interest is 0. So it's only the L curve shift from here to here, so the new intercept in the horizontal axis is going to be 460. So this is what we get here, and the real money supply doesn't change because we didn't touch the money market. So now we transfer this information in this graph, and then we know that when interest rate goes up, then investment will go down. And here interest went up, then exchange rate has to go down. So we already know why. So here, if interest rate went up to 8, then exchange rate went down. And now we go to the goods and services market. In the goods and services market, when the interest rate in equilibrium was 5, then we have the intercept in the vertical axis 200, which is 200. Now when we pass from 50 to 110, what we get is, if you do the math, you can pause, you will see that the intercept in the vertical axis is 230, because here there are two things that changed. Interest rate in equilibrium is not 5, now is 8, and G is not 50 as initially, now is 110. So you have 100 plus 100, 200, 310 minus 80, you have 230. So the intercept is going to be now 230. And then, because of this shift, then the new equilibrium will be not 400 but 460 here, which we already have discussed that it is not a coincidence that it is exactly this 160. So here we get intercept 230, and then the equilibrium is 460. And finally we go to the aggregate demand curve. So we know how to get intersection, and we already seen in previous video that if we want to get the aggregate demand curve, we have to consider not only this point, but we have to make P variable, and then Y is going to vary as well, and we get the initial aggregate demand curve. Now if we increase government expenditure, then you pass from G to G plus increment G, and then if you distribute this and later you distribute this constant term here and here, you see that the curve is exactly like before, plus this constant term, which means that for any P the curve will move from here to here, and now if you choose a different P, you have exactly the same offset, so you will have a perfect parallel shift of the aggregate demand curve. So as we have seen before, in the case of increment of G, you have a perfect parallel shift, and this is what we get here. And assuming that price level is constant, then the equilibrium will pass from this point to this point, and the new income is going to be 460, which is the same 460 here, and it's the same 460 here. And that's it. In the next video, we are going to see the second effect, when price level increases, and then we will move from this point to this point. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.